which leads to our second question. And Jennifer, we'll start with you. How can you tell the difference between PTSD symptoms and symptoms of clinical depression?
Well, yeah, to me, the distinction lies partly in understanding the underlying neural circuits, the brain regions involved. So PTSD in general centers on the fear centers of the brain, threat detection, even memory systems. So these are brain regions like the amygdala and the hippocampus. Maybe you've heard of them or maybe you haven't, but they're little brain regions. Depression affects reward systems, mood regulation systems. So that's like the prefrontal cortex. However, that being said, there is so much overlap in the brain. And then in real life, symptoms can co-occur or look similar. So like that withdrawal we mentioned, the emotional numbness, loss of interest. So it makes behavioral observation sort of difficult, a little bit tricky, I think, for a clear distinction. Depression can even be considered a symptom of PTSD. So that makes diagnosis by behavioral symptoms alone even more tricky. So for me, if you're a caregiver and you see any of these symptoms, whether you think it's PTSD or depression, or maybe both, because they can occur together, it's very critical to see a doctor or a psychologist, because getting the right care and intervening early is always my mantra. So.
Well, thank you for that. And how about Leah, in your clinical practice, how are you seeing this and how do you differentiate?
Yeah. So with depression, there's the little interest. So not finding joy in things that we typically find joy in. So doing our hobbies less, spending less time with people and isolating, having a hard time sleeping or sleeping too much, being irritable. PTSD has all those symptoms. And then in addition, the anxiety symptoms that come with that. So the panic attacks and the hypervigilance. So PTSD, like Jennifer said, depression is a symptom of PTSD. So that's the difference, is that just that depression doesn't have the anxiety symptoms and PTSD does.